Let's not stand on ceremony, mate. Let's start the show.
We would be honored if you would join us.
It's funny. I'm sitting here going through my phone, and I can find every picture but my Kit Harington picture.
Yeah.
On the day Game of Thrones is starting, and I can't find it. I can find every other picture I have, but I can't find that one. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Do you have an album of pictures with celebrities anywhere? That's the one thing I never did. And there's certain random ones, like John Turturro, I can't find. Has no interest to anybody out in the world.
Nobody gives a damn about our...
How else are we going to make you know how special we are, other than name dropping? Like, here's my John Turturro. But you know what? One thing I do love, especially now.
Of all the stars you could have named,
I don't know.
You named John Turturro
in my head.
as the one that people are supposed to be impressed by. So,
no.
Oh, damn, he's met John Turturro.
I have one, and I can't find it anywhere. But no, I got the worst poster signed by the two coolest people inside in my house on my wall downstairs, and it's Alice Eve and Kristen Ritter signed for. You got one of those too, I think. She's out of your league? That was
She's out of your league, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's all about, but yeah. Game of Thrones is tonight.
Game of Thrones is tonight. I'm excited.
Do you remember...
By the way, this is Smash Cut here on Twitch. Yeah. Twitch Live. I'm Travis Hobson. This is John Nolan. We were from the website Punch Drunk Critics. You can find us every day there at punchdrunkcritics.com. And we're just bullshitting right now.
Yeah.
I got my Star Wars shirt on because we got to talk some Star Wars today.
I did not realize that we were supposed to wear stuff that was about it. So,
there's no Spider-Man coming out this week, as far as I know. Star Wars Celebration is going on right now.
I know. How awesome of an event has that become over the last fight? Like, it's always been kind of cool, but it's getting to Comic-Con level for Star Wars people, you know what I mean? Like, especially as the brand expands to so many more things. If you look at the Star Wars universe now, compared to 10 years ago, and I know people will argue with me because the expanded universe was always huge, but like the actual canon universe.
I never bothered with the expanded universe that much.
You never read any books?
I read some of them, but I didn't read. I read the most obvious ones, like which one?
Thrawn trilogy.
Thrawn. And so a few other ones too. So.
Well, that's really because people love to talk about it, but most of it was junk. Like they almost a lot of them seem like Marvel what ifs. That's
the impression I got. Was they all felt like fanfic to me.
Yeah, and that's what they. I mean, essentially that's what they all
want
were.
To read them.
It's just some of it was published by an actual entity, but yeah. So I mean, it's become this huge thing. But it's weird. It feels really weird right now because we have Endgame coming out, and maybe it's just because Endgame's coming out. But it really does feel like the hype for the Endgame trailer.
Sucks they're not going to let you into that screening.
They're not going to what?
Sucks they're not going to let you into that screening.
I know. What can I do? You assault one celebrity and you never get anywhere else. Yeah. You are joking, right? Yeah, I can tell. You're joking.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you show up there, and then you'll find out whether I'm joking or not.
That's all right. You'll be the one dealing with a 5-foot Puerto Rican that's really upset she had to take off work for no reason. Not me.
We're not allowed to bring guests to that, are we?
She's not watching, so you're not gonna get me in trouble.
We're not allowed to bring guests.
Yes, we are. We have one plus one.
We're not allowed to bring guests.
A single plus one.
Man, that's
you're not allowed to bring guests because of what happened last time.
Yeah, right.
But Endgame trailer came out, and it seemed like it far outweighed the hammer that was brought down by the Star Wars trailer. I mean, is that just me, or does it seem like the Star Wars trailer wasn't a big a deal as the Endgame trailer?
Are you crazy?
No.
You're serious?
I'm serious, and this is coming from me.
Oh, man, no. I think the Star Wars trailer has been... people have been going crazy over that trailer the last 2 days.
The same impact as the Endgame trailer, you think?
I mean, there's a difference because, one, the Star Wars thing is just a teaser, number one. It's not a full trailer.
Yeah.
And it's still, how many months away? 7 months? 8 months? It's got a long ways away still. So...
Yeah.
But yeah, people have been because we got not only did we get a teaser, but we got the title, which people have been buzzing about for 2 days. The Rise of Skywalker. What does it mean? We can talk about theories right now. I know what my theory is.
Go hit me with yours because that title annoys me.
Well, I mean, it's an ironic title, right? Because this is the end of the Skywalker saga.
Uh-huh.
So and you call a movie The Rise of Skywalker, what does it mean? Does it mean literally The Rise of Skywalker? Like Luke Skywalker's coming back? No, probably not.
Yeah.
I think as much as I fear J.J. Abrams retconning away everything that Rian Johnson did on The Last Jedi, I don't think he'll retcon that.
No, you can't.
I think he's more likely to retcon something like Rey's parentage.
Yeah, because that's not even really retconning. Because I never understood why people got so bent out of shape about that. Because Kylo Ren's a bad guy. Of course, he can lie.
He can lie.
And that's going to be what gives him the most leverage over her. So that's easy to do.
I think it probably means the word Skywalker is going to become to mean more than just Luke Skywalker.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, like Jedi will become synonymous.
It'll be the Skywalker Order.
Skywalker will become synonymous with the word Jedi. You know, something along those lines. So even as we move past the Skywalker saga, the name Skywalker still stays.
Yeah,
like it's still used.
The one thing I'm glad about is knowing J.J. Abrams. The last thing he would do is give away something as big as Rey's parentage in the title of the movie. Or maybe it's so obvious that he would do it. I don't know, but I just hope Rey isn't a Skywalker because, like,
I don't want her to be a Skywalker.
At first, I won't lie. At first, I really did want her to have some connection. I thought about it. I'm like, you have this gigantic universe with hundreds of planets and thousands of species, and everybody's important. Is in the same family tree, basically.
Yeah.
So, I want to see it branched out. I think there's something really cool that they alluded to at the end of The Last Jedi, which is anybody can be special. You know, you have that kid who's sweeping the stables using the Force.
I want that kid to come back, by the way.
Yeah. Well, he's got to come back in some way.
Yeah, I want him to come back. Come back and do something.
But that was exactly what I was thinking. Is like, okay, so Luke said it's time for the Jedi to end, and there's always been these theories about. Rey and Kylo kind of not being, breaking the dichotomy of the light side, dark side, and doing some kind of gray Jedi is what they call it. Somebody that, it would be essentially the same as letting priests get married or something.
A gray Jedi.
Well, it sounds lame, but the idea, like, you're a good guy, but you can get married.
I don't want to be a gray Jedi.
Yeah. It could
I'll take dark. I'll take dark. But I don't want to be.
Dark has connotation of too bad.
I don't want to be a gray Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Middle of the road Jedi.
I'm the most boring color Jedi. That's what that is.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Well, that's why they're not calling it. That's why they're calling them Skywalkers. But they'll get up their own order and they'll call it the Skywalkers.
Right.
The Skywalker Order or whatever. That's the only thing I can think of. But there is so much cool stuff in that trailer.
Oh, it's a great trailer.
If you watched it once quickly on your phone, you need to go back and watch it 3 more times. On your on your big screen TV, what we just popped up on
right there. By the way. That's a great shot.
Yeah, you got Nathan Drake and
hey Billy D.
Oh yeah.
He's like I want my shit back over my dead body.
Well,
there you go.
You saw that meme too, huh? Yeah,
yep.
I saw somebody put that up. That was hilarious.
Yep.
And then you got the medal from the Battle of Yavin shows up.
How emotional was that scene right there with Carrie Fisher? I
gotta imagine. I mean, for them seeing that, it's gotta be terrible emotional. But for me watching it, I don't really get
Star Wars Episode 10, starring Wesley Snipes.
Rise of the Daywalker. Very, very good, very good. That's it. I like that one. But yeah, there's if you're watching the stream, we got the Battle of Yavin medal right there, and it's obvious that this is going to be a lot about looking back and moving forward at the same time.
Which is why J.J. Abrams probably went and consulted George Lucas before he started writing the script. He wanted to get, and it makes sense. Look, we can all shit on George Lucas for obvious reasons. He did not do the prequels any justice at all. But it makes sense to kind of go back and touch base with him and see how he would do things. Now, if we find out that the whole thing was, a dream of some super midichlorian, then we know that George Lucas had too much impact on J.J. Abrams going in. But I don't think you're going to see that happen, so I don't think we have to worry.
Isn't that the weirdest thing at the end of the day? Is like he went to do science, and then nobody even talks about it anymore at all. So this is the shot I was talking about. It took me 3 times watching this to realize that was the Death Star, the sunken Death Star. Before I realized that, looking at that, because I watched on my phone first, and it's just, and then you hear Palpatine's laugh at the end. What is that? Just saying his influence is going to be there? I'm really concerned that he's going to come back because I don't think he should. Best shot in the trailer right here.
He's back.
He's back.
He's back
in ghost form. That's fine.
I think he's going to be.
Clone
I
form,
think he'll
cool.
be back as a Force ghost. I think one of the things that we know about Star Wars is that death does not necessarily end a person.
Oh yeah.
And his strength in the dark side is it's not something that I think can easily be extinguished even by death. The way we still see Obi-Wan and Luke and anybody else who's died who was strong in the Force.
Right.
You'd have to imagine the same thing goes for people on the dark side.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, whether they learned it or not, but I mean, he is the most powerful Sith of all time.
Off of here.
Yeah, go for it.
Which one? This one?
I don't know how to get it off. You get it on there. That might turn the whole station off.
I know. I can't remember how to get it off either.
Yeah, hey, look,
cares?
Look, guys, if you're
Star
listening,
Wars.
at least this time we weren't talking over the coming soon screen, so we're getting better.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's just distracting. I keep looking at it. It's distracting. But so, what about the time jump everybody's talking about? That's already pretty much confirmed, right?
Yeah. So
that explains Rey's awesome skills in the scene that's showing now, where she does an amazing backflip and slices a TIE fighter in half. But this is what confused me about the time jump. Like, why would he wait like 5 years to just fix his helmet? You just keep it in a box somewhere?
do we know that it was him fixing the helmet?
Touche.
I mean, you would think so, but we don't know that for sure that it was him fixing the helmet, and we don't know what's happened in between the years that would make him want to go back to it.
Right.
And I'm actually not. I'm not super happy about that scene because it makes me think that's one of those retcon things. It's like, do we need to go back and kind of, go back over stuff?
Yeah.
Do we need to do that?
No.
But it really just depends on how if the story makes sense for him to go back and do it, then I'll be fine with it.
Yeah.
So,
well, the one thing about that is I thought it was cool, even though it happened in a way that he was getting made fun of from Snoke, but the fact that he kind of was forced to realize that, hey, quit playing Darth Vader and be somebody yourself. I thought that was a cool scene of him.
Yeah, this feels
taking off.
Feels like backtracking.
Yeah, it feels like definitely going back.
It feels like he's taking a step backwards. When the most exciting thing about Snoke dying was that Kylo Ren became the bad guy.
Yeah.
I want him to be bad on his own, not because the person above him is worse.
Right.
I don't want that. Just like I don't want his redemption to be because of that either. Because I imagine that this movie will end with his redemption somehow. That's usually the way these Star Wars movies go.
Yeah.
I imagine that's still going to be the case. But I don't want it to be just because somebody else is worse than him.
What's irredeemable on a wide level? What does a bad guy have to do in a movie to the point where he is no longer redeemable? You got Kylo Ren took out one of the most iconic characters in all of moviedom with Han Solo. You have Game of Thrones is coming on tonight. You have Jaime Lannister pushed a kid out of a window in the very first episode and has now become the fan favorite. Is there nothing that's not redeemable over time?
No. And what's redeemable and what's irredeemable doesn't really so much depend on us. It depends on the characters in the story, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean,
well, I'm talking about irredeemable to the audience. Like
to me, Jamie's irredeemable.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, he's done a lot of crap.
Well, like Ramsey to me would be irredeemable.
Definitely.
Ramsey Snow is
definitely
irredeemable. But Jaime,
definitely irredeemable.
I don't know how we just jumped to Game of Thrones, but I mean, he takes you back to Kylo Ren.
You mixed him in there in the middle of a Star Wars.
Yeah,
series.
I know. I just started down the road. You're usually the one that corrects me on these things, and I stayed on the road. But yeah, so Kylo Ren kills Han Solo, but that's and he killed a whole bunch of villagers and stuff. But come on, in the movies we don't care about the villagers and all those people. But He seemed like he was really going down that track to do something in Last Jedi where he would be redeemable, but then near the end, you just see him totally lose his shit. And when they're sitting there in the new ATSTs or whatever, and he's like, "Fire everything you have on that man," and he goes out there and fights. You can tell that he's gone. Like he went from being right there to being completely on the other end in like one scene.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know, man. All I know is I'm excited for these movies to hurry up and get here.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because they're also going to be taking a hiatus after this movie. I think Star Wars needs it. Mm-hmm. It needs a break. I would say that Marvel needs a break too after this. Like
you would think it would be a good time for it.
At the end after Endgame, it would have been a great time to do it. But Star Wars definitely needs a break. Mm-hmm. I was one of those that was worried they were going to force us to have a Star Wars movie every single year, no matter what. And I think if Solo hadn't bombed, they probably still would.
Yeah.
I think they probably still would give us a movie every year. But they really don't have anything in the works anyway right now.
So we're just talking about a movie hiatus, basically.
Yeah, because it's not as if Star Wars stops going. It's like we still got We still got the TV show. That's
Mandalorian's coming out.
Mandalorian's coming out. We saw some of that from Disney.
Disney Plus, which is something we probably got to cover today. Yeah.
Saw a little bit of that this week, man. We don't really need to.
It looks like the end-all, be-all streaming service.
We got another year. Oh yeah, we got another year we got a new season of the Clone Wars that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Star Wars doesn't stop just because there's not a movie for a while.
Right.
Star Wars didn't have movies for how many years? Almost 30 years before they did the prequels?
20
years?
83 to 99.
Right.
But they did the re-releases in it. But yeah, 99, 83
Star
99.
Wars didn't stop generating money.
Right. Oh, no.
if Disney's not going to be hurting if there's no Star Wars movie for a year, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, don't get it twisted, folks. Most of the money they make from this label is from the.
See what happens.
Let's do it. Most of the money. Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Most of the money they make from this label is based on merchandising and the studio.
Nobody buys any Star Wars stuff. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Nobody has any
guy wearing Star Wars T-shirt.
They just show up and watch the movie and then they go home and they forget about it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's why it's one of the most forgettable franchises of all time. Mm-hmm. But you have the Benioff and Weiss trilogy that's coming out. You have the Rian Johnson trilogy that's coming out. So you think we'll get more than a year before the next one?
Yeah, I don't think you'll see a Star Wars movie until 2021, maybe even 2022. I mean, before we get a new one.
Do we have any more details on what those two are doing, Benioff and Weiss or Rian Johnson?
Nothing. No. That's what I like about it.
So we're not even pre-production.
Other than the fact that Johnson's will be a totally different era and a totally different group of people. There'll be no more Star Wars Skywalker saga, at least not in his.
Were you a Knights of the Old Republic fan?
Very much so.
Yeah, I can never finish.
I still want to play.
I'm not an RPG guy. I hate.
Did you see the trailer for that new game that's coming out?
Yeah, Fallen Order. Yeah, looks sick, and it's a one-player game.
It's a one-player game. I don't like their multiplayer games.
No, you know what? Honestly, Battlefront 2 is not as bad as people give credit. Say it is, and the flying is pretty awesome. But the one-player games is where it's at. I mean, I've replayed Force Unleashed like 10 times since it came out. Yeah, it looks amazing.
Then again, they were only showing us like cutscene video.
Yeah. Everybody always.
They didn't show us any gameplay.
Yeah.
They didn't show us any gameplay footage.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, it
could be a lot different.
It might look like crap. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Honestly, let's because it's not EA doing it, right? Or are they?
I don't remember who's doing it.
I don't think it's EA. So then they're the ones that have been getting screwed up. But even if it was, they've got such a black eye from the. They had Battlefront, and then they did Battlefront 2, and they tried to improve a lot of stuff, and just got just as much bad press for it. So hopefully,
they got bad press for all those microtransactions they're making people have to make all the time. Which I mean, they were excessive in that game.
Yeah.
And look, every game has microtransactions. It's just the way it is. It's how they make money. Throughout the life cycle of a game.
Right.
I get it. That's why you see games now have seasons.
Yeah.
Street Fighter has seasons.
There is no game. There is a subscription. Everything in 20 years' time, dude. I'm telling you, everything will be a subscription service. From the movies you watch that already are, to your video games, to your toilet paper, everything. I mean, Amazon has subscription for half the stuff on there.
I have a toilet paper subscription.
Well, I mean, if there's one thing you want a subscription for, it's toilet paper.
Apparently, Drew has a toilet paper subscription.
Yeah, big shocker there.
Actually, I saw a commercial for a car that says the car that you can subscribe to, and they didn't explain what that meant.
Yeah, that's kind of a wide open thing to not explain.
It sounds like a lease.
Yeah,
it sounds like my car already.
Yeah, they had those car sharing services you can do. But I mean, call me crazy, I don't want to share a car with somebody.
No,
and not because it might not be available, because people do weird stuff in their car, man. Imagine what Drew does.
I don't want to think what Drew does.
I bet he has those Amazon Go buttons, the little button. Don't you, Drew? Do you have those Go buttons?
I don't know. I don't know where Drew is. He just left.
Yeah.
They're talking
boys.
They're talking trash.
You have those little Amazon Go buttons, don't you? So when you run out of laundry detergent, you just press
easy buttons. Yeah, you push a button and it comes. Yeah, absolutely. I have that for water. I have it for a lot of stuff. But I did want to say, on Amazon, the Amazon subscriptions are actually awesome.
Actually, there are a couple things that I get from Amazon subscriptions. I'm not gonna lie, I do.
You guys are ruining my joke here. You come in and all of a sudden it becomes an infomercial.
Like,
sorry.
You can do it because it's like, all right, so if you want to buy it, it's $18, but if you get a subscription, it's only $16. I'm like, well,
and
I
if
want
you
to
get like
save
5
money.
different things to give you like an extra 10% off, it's like
there
are some things I subscribe to off Amazon.
So like
Smash Cut is in no way what's the word? Advertiser for Amazon.
However,
we are. You can go to www.amazon.com/shop/hashtag to go to the Amazon shopping
page. There you go.
For hashtag.
See, there's a plug in there somewhere. I was just reaching for it.
Amazon Prime.
If Amazon wants to do a direct ad, we're here.
Yes.
Let us know.
We are currently taking orders.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. The trailer is great. I was wondering if we were going to actually get the trailer or not. I figured we would get the title.
Yeah.
I was figuring we'd
get
the title.
That's a good way to do it.
Get the title and the trailer. No, it was the perfect way to do it.
Yeah. Because I'm getting really sick of this spoon feeding marketing stuff. It's like, here's a teaser for the teaser of the trailer that's coming out in a week. And you get like one frame, and then next week you get 3 frames.
Who writes a lot of news about stuff like that. I hate shit like that.
Yeah. Well, it takes up half your time.
10-second teaser for the teaser that comes out tomorrow, and it's like,
yeah. And that was fine when they used to do it on like Entertainment Weekly the day before the trailer would debut. Like, oh, we have a quick shot. That's fine. But now they make it a whole big marketing thing where people are actually getting excited about a trailer for a trailer, and it's crazy.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. So, yeah, the trailer was awesome. The movie looks awesome. Rise of Skywalker, and what December is it? December 25th.
December 20th.
20th? Yeah, so we got just about 7 months to go on that. And then I think the rest of the year up until then is going to be Marvel time. Because we have Endgame, we have Spider-Man Far From Home, we have, that's it for Marvel this year, right?
That's it for Marvel.
Yeah,
we have
3 Marvel slates.
It's not as if it's the end of superhero movies this year. We still got Joker in October.
Brightburn, Joker.
Brightburn, which looks really good.
Yeah, how did nobody think to do a dark take on Superman that wasn't like Red Sun or not Red Sun?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people thought of it. I mean, they tried. There were talks about doing a Red Sun movie at one point, but
yeah,
but no, I think Brightburn looks really cool.
Yeah.
In fact, I had somebody ask me about Brightburn the other day. Like, was this based on a comic? And I was like, no.
I thought you were gonna say true story.
It's just yeah, and it's like, no, it's just based on a original story that's basically taken from the Superman origin.
Yeah, I mean, because Superman takes the best possible outcome of that scenario. You find a kid in a field who's an alien and has superpowers, and he's just the best of everything. Well, the more likely thing was a kid with serious abandonment issues found in a field. It's probably going to go the other way on that one. Yeah, gets bullied. Yeah. I don't care how middle America farmer you are, you're not going to be able to nurture that boy to be all American.
No, and especially from that area, he might grow up to be like an extremist or something.
Yeah. He would be an all-American through some people's eyes.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's a horror movie in itself.
Yeah, no kidding. But let's talk about something else that came out this week.
Yeah, man.
Something that actually came out this week, not Star Wars. We can go back to Star Wars. I mean, it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But Hellboy came out this week.
Yes.
Did you see it?
Yes.
You saw Hellboy. So you did see Hellboy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
Uh-huh.
Hellboy got its ass reamed at the box office this week.
It did. I feel bad for David Harbour, man.
$12 million, man.
What's the overseas stuff looking like?
There's no overseas yet.
Oh, they didn't do a okay.
No.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if they will.
Mila Jovovich is in it, so obviously it's going to get. She's apparently the goddess of international box office numbers. She kept Resident Evil going for 87 installments, and that's really the feeling I got. I had a bad feeling about this from the first trailer. Like, do you ever? We're not supposed to prejudge movies. We're supposed to watch them, but when you see certain things in a trailer that make you immediately assume it's going to be bad, what is one of those things for you?
Ian McShane.
Ian McShane. It's plastic blood for me. Ever since Ninja Assassin, because you can always tell, like the
Ninja Assassin had the worst blood.
Oh God, it was like Play-Doh, kind of liquid Play-Doh, if that's a thing. But the blood in these, and it just goes back to, if there's bad CGI, that means they didn't spend the time or money they needed to on it. So other things probably.
I didn't even really think about that. I actually gave Hellboy a mildly positive review. I gave it 3 out of 5 on punchdrunkcritics.com. Hey, Star Wars came back. Look at that. Get off there.
It was Hellboy, but then it went to Star Wars.
Yeah. I gave it a mildly positive review because I still thought David Harbour did a good job as Hellboy. And one of the things I like about Hellboy, the character, is that you can tell many different kinds of stories with him. It's why he's been as enduring as he has been.
Right.
You can tell, like, Del Toro's movies were macabre but kind of lighthearted. At least I felt that's
yeah.
This was and Hellboy fits in that world.
Mm-hmm.
But Hellboy also has just as many horror stories that he does.
Right. And that's what I thought was cool about what we're doing here.
Yeah, this one was doing that. And I feel like they did a good job of fitting him into that world.
Mm-hmm.
The movie was at its best when he was just out there with the other BPRD fighting monsters, like when he's fighting the giants.
Yeah,
like the movie's at its best then. Everything involving the Blood Queen, though, didn't work.
No, and
none of that stuff worked.
To me, this was...
You should have just done a BPRD movie.
Yeah, I've always wanted that. Rosario Dawson does that Occult Crimes Task Force comic, and they kind of did something similar with RIPD, which is another comic. I've always wanted some kind of government agency that fights supernatural stuff movie, and they just haven't been able to do it right. BPRD, the movie...
They had RIPD, don't you?
Well, I said they never done it right. They never did it right.
Wasn't that enough for you?
Damn it, no, it wasn't. Ryan Reynolds...
Terrible movie.
How is he still working?
Really
he had
movie.
Green Lantern and then RIPD, like, literally right after each other.
He went from being... Because I remember this was like a whole patch of time.
Yeah.
Like, on the site. I always base things on how I remember, like, covering them.
Yeah.
And I remember I wrote a post called Ryan Reynolds is the most powerful guy in the world. Because for a while there, he was, like, the man.
Yeah.
And then... all of a sudden, he had Green Lantern, he had RIPD, and it was like, all of a sudden, he was like, damn, what the hell happened to Ryan Reynolds?
Right.
He's like
his deal with the devil was only for 10 years.
Yeah, it was like, up. Damn, all of a sudden, he ain't nothing.
Yeah.
And then he came back with Deadpool, but yeah, man, it's crazy how this stuff kind of happens. I don't know how. He fought hard for Deadpool for a long time.
Yeah, well, I think that's
how he's still popular.
People don't realize, like, when they had that leaked footage, like he was working that from the end. I mean, he worked himself back to stardom from almost obscurity by himself with and his team there. But nobody was giving him anything at that point. He was working it back. But Hellboy, man,
right
like
there in case Coke wants to do it.
There you go. Yep. Watch, now we're going to get sued for placing Coke products on there. Well, that had the opposite effect. But yeah, Hellboy, man, as soon as I saw the trailer, and I don't even want to say it's bad because it's not. It's like a Resident... Yeah, I know you'll probably disagree with me on this, but like Resident Evil, Underworld, this type of movie, it fits in with that. It's fun to watch, especially on a Saturday afternoon. The gore is ridiculous in a good way. I mean, that one fight in the street where the... I forget the name of the thing, the big giant with the tail and the razor arms, and just heads are exploding and blood is flying. But
I think it grew tiresome after a while. The gore was so over the top.
That's the thing when you don't build up.
It got a little bit much for me.
Right.
It got a little bit excessive. But the main thing for me is I think they really alienated the fans of Del Toro's movies.
Because it was so different.
Del Toro and Perlman wanted to do that third movie.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to do that third movie. And look, the first two Hellboy movies, they did okay. The second one, I think, made $160 million worldwide. Mm-hmm. The first one made about 80 or 90. So they were showing improvement, but they were neither one of them were huge blockbusters.
Right.
But they did well. They had a loyal fan base. They wanted to do a third movie. Fans wanted a third movie. Lionsgate said no because they wanted to spend less. And Del Toro is an Oscar-winning filmmaker now.
Yeah,
he's not the same director. He's not the same director he was back then.
His quote's a little less. I mean, a little more.
Yes, they wanted to cut costs to do a third Hellboy movie. Del Toro wasn't down with it, so they went a different direction. Did a reboot. I understand it from a business perspective.
Yeah,
I mean, why they would do that. But on the other hand, their business instincts were flawed because Del Toro commands a lot more box office now than he did back then. So there's a good reason to think that a third Hellboy movie from him would have done $200 million.
Yeah, and not just that, but he's got a wickedly loyal fan base. And if you anytime you take something somebody's known for and that has done well and you give it to somebody else, whether there's any controversy behind it or not, people that are fans of that person that it's taken from will assume and assume it's a slight, assume shade is being thrown, to put it as the kids say.
So they played themselves. And then they gave it to Neil Marshall, who, hey, look, I love The Descent. Mm-hmm. The Descent's a great movie. Neil Marshall hasn't done much to capitalize on that over the years. At least I don't think so. He's not the most inventive filmmaker in the world. Certainly doesn't draw people the way Del Toro would. And as much as I like David Harbour, I've liked David Harbour from his days in theater, and as a character actor. So I've always been a fan. Never expected him to be like a fanboy favorite the way he's become since Stranger Things. But he's there now.
It's the power of social media, man.
But he's also not somebody who draws box office either. So Lionsgate played themselves in this case, and now we see the results. $12 million opening box office for Hellboy. It might not break $25 million domestic.
No, because you got next week Avengers Endgame's coming out. Nobody's seeing anything, but
nothing big is coming out next week.
Not next week. Week after next. So the only hope they have,
2 weeks is practically nothing,
which could happen, is because even though there's been thousands of articles written, mostly by you probably, about the Avengers Endgame's pre-ticket sales. There's still going to be people that show up on Friday night to go. And if they're primed for a comic book movie and Avengers Endgame sold out, they'll walk right into Hellboy. So they might get a little overflow there. But
Hellboy won't even be in theaters in 2 weeks.
You think it'll go out that quickly?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean...
No, I mean, look, it's gonna suffer at least a 50% drop in theaters showing it next week. I mean, it's not going to go up. It's going to go down.
That's true.
And Endgame is going to. There's not going to be any. Oh well, Endgame is sold out. Let's go see Hellboy. There's not going to be any of that because Endgame is going to occupy about 75 to 80% of every theater's in.
Yeah, they're not going to leave. That makes sense. Yeah,
there's not going to be anything left over. And if there is anything left over, Shazam will have it.
Yeah.
Or Captain Marvel will still be there. You know,
this is what we call a flooded market.
Yeah. There's not going to be any Hellboy.
Well, then I was trying to look for the silver lining, but I guess that's not happening.
Hellboy won't be there.
Well, like I said, you got Mila Jovovich, so maybe it'll make $100 million overseas. If they seem to love her overseas.
If they decide to release it overseas, so far they haven't.
I misunderstood. I thought you said it just hasn't come out overseas. It doesn't have a.
There's no guarantee that it will.
I thought like pretty much every major release got released overseas.
Not always.
Huh.
Always. Remember, it costs money to do that too.
Yeah, but you sell rights to the foreign distributors and all that stuff.
If I was Lionsgate, I would open it overseas.
Well, what's the point not doing that? Because if anything,
maybe you don't want to chase bad money after bad.
Yeah, but movies like this have historically always made more overseas than they do here. I'll go again to the Resident Evils. I mean, because that's exactly where this fits in. This is the exact type of movie fits in that slot.
But this is an abnormally low box office for a movie like this, though. And I mean, if
12 million is pretty ridiculous.
Let's look. If they actually is going to be opened overseas, they've already made that plan.
Yeah.
So it's possible that they already have it in the works, and I don't know.
Right.
But as of right now, it's not open overseas, and I don't know when it will.
Well, then they're screwed.
It may be.
Look for Hellboy on-demand video next week, or maybe Tuesday.
You never know, man.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well, that'll be a push, though. They'll say, well, hey, this is something we could have just put on demand. But they still haven't been able to fully commit to the on-demand release. You know what I mean? Netflix has done something awesome with that. They're releasing stuff right on their platform. They kind of messed with a release it in theaters Friday and then on Netflix the next Wednesday deal, but I don't think they're going to stick with that. But, I mean, this is a way for them to start realizing there's money to be made out there. I mean, it's not as much, but...
Money to be made out there for what?
For releasing direct-to-video, for major releases. I mean, because the thing is, if you want to see something in the theater, it's hard to say because on one hand you can say, well, if you want to see something in the theater, you're going to see it anyway. So if you simultaneously release both, people are going to still go to the theater. But that's a big dollar difference for the consumer. You're looking at $50 for two people to go to the theater when you get a drink and 3 kernels of popcorn. So right. You stay home, you rent it for $5, you have your own food, you have 10 friends over. So it's a lot cheaper for sure. But I don't know. It's something that will be interesting to see how they figure out.
Yeah, I agree. While we got a moment, we were talking Endgame a few minutes ago, and I'm excited for that, as I'm sure you are. Here at Hashtag Studios, we're actually going to be showing a marathon.
We are.
Of the first 3 Avengers movies. It's going to be taking place on April 20th here at Hashtag Studios here in Chantilly, Virginia. We're going to be showing all 3 Avengers flicks. We're going to be doing a live edition of our show.
Yeah.
Smash Cut in between. So everybody should come out and check that out. It's going to be food. It's going to be fun. I'm pretty sure we'll have prizes, maybe.
We're going to have prizes. We're going to have giveaways. There's going to be all kinds of great concessions and stuff. And it won't just be popcorn and hot dogs. We got fancy stuff that I can't pronounce that you'll probably like. And the best thing is we're doing a Movies That Matter edition where it's Avengers Age of Ultron, Infinity War. You don't have to sit through 47 movies.
Pride and Prejudice is in between, right?
Yeah. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Is in between.
Yeah. Well, Pride and Prejudice is in between 1 and 2.
I like that movie.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is between 2 and 3. Yeah.
I like that movie.
Yeah, it was good. That's why I made sure we included
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. It didn't get a lot of...
Right. No, it didn't get it. I mean, it came after Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and I think the novelty was kind of worn out by then.
The movie stinks.
It wasn't that bad.
It's not good.
It wasn't that good either, but it wasn't that bad.
Not good.
Yeah.
The books aren't good either, by the way.
I tried. I didn't get more than 40 pages into either one.
Seth Grahame-Smith is not a good writer.
So how the hell do these things get so popular? Well, apparently they're not, but
because they're novel approaches to history. I mean, it's pretty cool. Abraham Lincoln fighting vampires. is a cool concept.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's absolutely
cool. It's a cool concept. It's a cool concept for the movie too, which a movie that I'm sure everybody forgot about until about a minute ago.
The only I know exactly.
Do you remember who starred in it?
I know Dominic Cooper was in it at some point, right? No, who? Oh, and also cosplay is more than a courage.
Ben something.
Oh, I can tell you remember who it was too.
It's Ben something.
Good old Ben something. Now nominated for an Academy Award. Ben something.
Ben something was really, really forgettable.
Yeah.
As obviously.
I mean, the only way that movie could have been awesome is because if you remember, it was around the same time as Lincoln, the Steven Spielberg, Daniel Day-Lewis movie. Is if they had shot a side movie with Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis as Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Mm-hmm. But then he would have really had to go fight vampires because that's how he is.
Benjamin Walker.
Been a little bit harder.
Benjamin Walker. That's right.
Why was I supposed to remember him? What has he done since?
Look how bland this picture is.
Yeah.
Look how bland that guy's picture is. He's so boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like if you asked an alien to give you what the most generic white guy from Europe looked like, that would probably be it.
Yeah.
So cosplay is encouraged for our event. Travis is going to be the Scarlet Witch. I will be.
Don't nobody want to see that. Don't nobody want to see that.
And we're going to have prizes for cosplay as well, I'd imagine. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know, so I'm not giving out false promises. But it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great day.
You're making promises that ain't nobody ever...
I'm making promises that somebody else has to fulfill.
What are you talking about? Prizes for what?
There's a $1 million prize. No, I'm just playing.
You'll pay the prize.
Yeah, right.
Offered that.
The other thing is it's a good chance to come out and check out #Arena here, where it's a gaming arena. It's our podcast arena.
Oh, yeah. It's cool here, man. You got, like I said, gaming arena, movie theater, a little bit of everything. Studio, a lot of stuff going on here, man. You can buy collectibles and all sorts of stuff like that here as well. Yeah. It's a pretty cool spot, good place to hang out.
And the gear is legit. Like this isn't running off that.
I don't have any gear, so I don't know. Is it legit?
It is legit gear. It is legit. The projector.
I didn't get any gear.
It kind of weirded me out. You asking to check my gear out. Got to be honest with you. But I
asked if you got any gear, not that I wanted to see your gear.
Somebody rewind that tape. He said, "Can I get your gear?"
No, I said you got gear. I didn't get any gear.
Oh. Well, maybe I just heard what I wanted to hear.
I hope you lost your train of thought.
I did. The projectors are awesome. The screen's awesome. You're not watching these movies on like your 7th grade science teacher's reel-to-reel where you learned about the birds and the bees. So come out and check it out with us. It's going to be a blast. A lot of fun right here in Chantilly, right by the Chantilly Expo Center.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
What else is going on?
All 3 Avengers movies.
All 3, yep.
It's good because I haven't seen Age of Ultron in
I
ages.
just thought about that the other day.
I haven't seen it.
Angela, my wife, loves that one, and she was watching it like 2 weeks ago, and it was like the scene where
it's not terrible, but
no, it's not terrible, but it's just
there's no Marvel movie that's terrible, with the exception of maybe like Thor: The Dark World. Is not good.
I've never watched that again, and I didn't think it was that bad when I saw it, but
it's just and even that's not terrible. It's just mediocre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which to me, a lot of the Marvel movies were mediocre until The Winter Soldier, and then kicked into
another gear. That was another level. I mean,
so they kicked to another gear at that point. But they're all they're good, they're fine.
Yeah,
which is kind of how I feel about it because I've watched.
You're one of those people that hates Iron Man 2, right? Not hates,
I actually don't hate Iron Man 2 at all the way other people do. I don't think it's particularly great or memorable, but I don't hate it. I think it's fine.
It's my favorite one, and
it's fine.
It's my favorite Iron Man movie, and
mine is 3. I like Iron Man 3 best. So.
And people are the same way with Iron Man 3. There's a bunch of people that say it's the worst one. They hate the Mandarin twist, But Iron Man 2, and every Iron Man movie was good in my mind. Iron Man 3 was probably my least of the 3, but that's not to say, because I loved all 3 movies. So, it's the least of a good thing. But, the War Machine coming out, you have the intro of Black Widow. I guess the party scene was kind of silly, to be honest with you. Yeah. The party scene was a little too silly for my taste, but it was awesome.
I hope Tony Stark dies in this movie.
Do you really?
Yeah. I want him to die really bad. I want him to get die really bad.
I want him to get. He has to die really bad.
I want him to get atomized or something
right.
Just that's what I want. And damn, that's what I want.
Just blood splatter.
I don't need to see blood. I just want to just.
You want him to be in the Iron Man suit and Thanos hit him like a power beam that microwaves him from inside the suit and then it just opens and all the liquid falls out.
Damn, I didn't want all that, but now it sounds kind of cool.
I need help.
I kind of support that now. All right, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. That's copyrighted, by the way. Whoever's listening.
No, I like that.
Yeah, the mask just flips up. You think he's going to talk, and he just falls out. Cap, I've already gone through the 7 stages of grief. I mean, is there any chance that he survives? There's literally none, right? There's none.
Look, I hope that Cap gets his chance to walk off into the sun. I don't see it happening.
No.
I don't see it happening. I feel like he makes the ultimate sacrifice.
It's how he has to go. And Tony, too, because Tony's whole thing, somebody pointed out that every single thing Tony has done since Iron Man 1 has been about trying, he's been actively trying to kill himself to save people. You know, Avengers 1, he tried to do it, and he just happens to make it through every time. Yeah. So his arc has to end that way, too. I mean, yeah, for the cotton candy sweetness of it, I would love to see somebody, Doctor Strange take the time stone and send Cap back to the 40s.
You don't want to see Endgame end with him and Pepper getting married?
No, and welcoming their child.
Ending on I do?
Yeah, no.
That's the end?
But that would, that would be almost fitting because the first one ends with I am Iron Man. With Spider-Man ends with, we're going to tell him we're married.
With a reformed Thanos, standing in the back.
Yeah. No, he's not standing in the back. He's now a ordained Unitarian minister, and he's giving the vow.
Clapping.
Right. Wonderful, Mr. Stark, yeah.
And he, uses the time stone to rewind it so you can watch it again. He's like,
this is amazing. Most beautiful thing ever.
It's the happiest thing I ever done in my life.
And then he flies off on the Thanos copter.
The Thanos
copter. Look it up if you don't know what that is. I mean,
nobody wants to see that. Shotgun knows. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I would love to see Cap go back and have his. But if you use a time stone to go back to be with Peggy in the 40s, then that's a whole butterfly effect thing for everything else. Because then she doesn't go into Shield.
He doesn't need to do that though. He can be with Sharon Carter now.
Yeah, that still weirds me out. I know that's how it went, but the whole we just buried your aunt who I used to be in love with. Let's make out.
I like Haley Atwell as much as anybody, but Emily Van Camp, that's a lateral move.
It's definitely a lateral move.
It's a lateral move. That's a lateral move.
Depending on what your personal preference is, it may be up or down, but yeah.
You got a Carter, he'll be fine.
Yeah. So anybody else? Thor, they can't kill Thor after Ragnarok, right?
No. Thor's not going to die. But he may go off for a while though.
Yeah. Hawkeye
has his own series coming up on Disney Plus.
But since they were spies beforehand, they could go either way on that, right?
Yeah, because we already know what the story's about. This Disney Plus series with Hawkeye, and Jeremy Renner's coming back for it, of course, is going to be him training
Kate Bishop,
who becomes not Mockingbird, but Hawkeye in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
When I posted my thing about that, I brought up the idea that they're setting up Young Avengers because we're seeing all the characters related to them have their own shows. So you got Vision and Scarlet Witch. Their children are members of the Young Avengers. Wiccan and Speed.
I don't even want to know how that happens. That works.
Wiccan and Speed are members of the Young Avengers. So you got two of them right there. You got the Hawkeye series with Kate Bishop, and you've got the Loki series. Right. Loki, the Kid Loki, he gets reincarnated as Kid Loki and joins the Young Avengers. So Loki's dead in the MCU, so he could be reincarnated as Kid Loki. So that brings another character in. And then you've also got the Winter Soldier and Falcon series. Yeah. So you got the patriotic side. You have the character Patriot, who's tied into them and Captain America. So you literally have all the characters who are in the Young Avengers. Yeah. They're people. They're older.
It's almost like Young Avengers will be the Avengers, and all these shows build up to it, just like Iron Man and Cap and everything.
I wouldn't be surprised if after all these shows, in a few months, maybe at Comic-Con, they announce a Young Avengers series.
Oh yeah.
I would not be shocked at all if that happens because it seems like that's a natural progression. If I had Kevin Feige sitting right there, where you are,
bank account's the same, nothing else.
We'd have bigger numbers.
Right.
But it's like Kevin Feige. I'd be like, so when's Young Avengers coming out?
Yeah.
That'd be my question. When's it coming out? I wouldn't even ask him if it's coming out. I'd just
when? Well, I mean, you got to assume at this point that they have the schedule planned up through 2030.
Right. Which is
a very loose schedule.
Which is why they said that.
Which is insane.
The X-Men might not even fit in for the next 5 years because they got a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
So we might not even see the X-Men for at least 5 years.
Is anybody thinking that they know who the next Wolverine is? You don't, because currently he is in 7th grade. And he'll come up, and then they'll.
He's probably in college.
Depends on how young they go. Well, hey, the way they do these things, they're going to want to get somebody that's 19 years old to sign a 26-year contract.
He's an actor on the lower end of the cast of some TV series that we don't watch.
Yeah. So take a look in the background on the CW or ABC Family, and you'll find your next Wolverine. It's coming there. What else is going on? Anything big?
I mean, there's always a lot of stuff going on.
Well, hit something.
What do you mean hit something? What are you talking about? Why are you telling me to hit something? What are you talking about?
I just mean, let's go to something. What else you got?
Why are you throwing it to me to say, hey, Travis, go talk about something?
Because you're you're more knowledgeable about it.
We've been talking about something for the last hour.
I know. I'm just saying, what else is on
the
slate?
Are you saying you got nothing else to talk about and that we should end the show?
No. I'm asking where else we can go with it.
I mean, we can talk about anything you want.
Okay. Cherry blossoms. Do you prefer them or after the season?
I actually started cherry blossoms yesterday.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you go to the festival?
We're not really going to talk about this, are we, guys?
No, we're not.
I drove through the festival.
Just rode past them. But I always found it funny because everybody was out there, at the cherry blossoms. Yeah. Basically just out there, getting their next Facebook profile pic.
Yeah.
Everybody always does that. The picture's like me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. About the cherry blossoms, that's a boring-ass picture.
Yeah. That's so sad. I'm not going to go old guy on everything here. As we're streaming on our website podcast, but the whole let's forget the experience around us so we can tape it is ridiculous. But you see it everywhere, so that's the way it is.
Yeah. For the next 2 weeks we've got practically no screenings.
No, I mean because it's all in prep.
Everybody's scared of Endgame. Everybody's right. It's funny how Endgame, not just the weeks after, but the weeks before, nobody wants to be anywhere near it.
Have you watched Titans or Doom Patrol yet?
I haven't seen any of them.
I will have to give you my DC Unlimited Well, I'm not supposed to share them.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, I'll get that to you. And Titans, we just finished.
Why didn't you review it? Why didn't you recap it?
Because it came out 2 months ago, and you always yell at me when I review something after it came out.
Yes. Good reason.
So Titans, and I started with Doom Patrol, which if anybody doesn't know, the Doom Patrol is the weirdest group that you can imagine in DC Comics.
They have a cyborg.
Yeah, well. Is it even a cyborg? It's pretty much a robot with a brain.
Poor Ray Fisher.
Oh, that cyborg.
Literal,
the actual
cyborg.
Yeah.
Can I just say for a second how sad I am for Ray Fisher?
Dude, he was awesome in Justice League.
Okay, now I wouldn't go that far, but
he had the most emotional arc. He had he was the best actor in. There was an
emotional arc. There were no emotional arcs in Justice League.
There was. I mean, it was a curve, emotional curve.
We were watching a different Justice League movie, but. I mean, I feel bad for him because he was the most excited to be playing his role.
Yeah.
That guy was really into it. At Comic-Con, the guy couldn't stay in his seat. Mm-hmm. He was so excited. He's just this theater actor. He's never done this kind of thing before. And he gets this big role in this huge movie. And the movie shits the bed.
Right.
And you don't hear nothing about it anymore. They quietly cancel the plans for the Cyborg movie that they're going to do in 2020. And it's just nothing.
Well, dude, could you imagine being
him?
He's
done.
You're a theater actor, and the next thing you know, you're
he ain't even been cast in nothing. Not even for Warner Brothers, just nothing.
Yeah.
It's damn.
It sucks. I mean, that's somebody comes in tomorrow and tells you got everything you were ever going to get, and obviously all they told you is you're going to be in Justice League, but you automatically assume you have all these people around you say, oh, it's going to be the next big thing. You're amazing. We're going to have this movie and this movie, and then they pull the plug one weekend. Everything's gone. That's got to be. I mean. To never have that and want it is one thing, but to get it and then have it ripped out, that's got to be life-ending, man.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I feel really bad for him.
And I might have been a little overboard with his emotional arc statement, but he was the best actor in that.
You're the first person to put the words Justice League and emotional arc in a sentence.
I know, but Gal Gadot is amazing.
They didn't put that in the production meetings for it.
I know.
It there.
We don't have one of those. Yeah,
they couldn't actually because they're in two different.
Well, his scenes with his dad, they just he did something with that character I wasn't
Joe
expecting.
Morton was in that movie, wasn't he?
Yeah, old what was his name? I want to say Dennis Nedry, but that's not right at all. In Terminator 2.
I don't know his name in Terminator 2. I just remember the way he died in Terminator 2.
That's what he was doing the whole time.
Pretty much.
That was so disturbing. But yeah, so
are you excited for that?
The Terminator, I have spent about 3 seconds thinking about it, and not at all. And I was the biggest Terminator fan, and I just I didn't mind Genesis. I thought it was an all right movie to watch. Every Terminator movie, Terminator Salvation, I thought was good on its own terms. But I just have no. It's not no desire because I'm gonna watch it, but I have no excitement over this movie coming out.
I don't know if anybody has excitement for it.
No, and you can almost feel it. It's like almost palpable how much people don't care.
I feel like it's going to do exactly the same as what Genesis did.
In terms of box office,
in terms of box office, it might have better reviews, but I feel like in terms of box office, it's going to do the same thing.
Well, I mean, the simple fact, if you break it down to basic logic, you have a 70-year-old guy playing an indestructible cyborg he played 40 years ago, and they're like, oh wait, no, the cyborg, it's living tissue over metal endoskeleton. He ages. That's ridiculous. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, but why would he? It's just holding on. I don't think there's another franchise out there that holds on so tight to past glory as
Can
Terminator.
I say how much I hate it when these franchises ignore movies within the franchise? Like this one's doing. Like this one is ignoring everything after Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And just basically doing a sequel to Judgment Day, and that's it. Can I talk about how much I hate that so much? I think it's fucking lazy.
What is that? Is it just because you think it's lazy? Is that what you hate about it? Or
it's lazy. They should incorporate all that stuff in there and just work with it. Work with it. If you want to ignore Terminator Genesis and say that was a totally different timeline, okay, because that one has almost completely different casting. You know, it doesn't even feel like it's part of it. But there's no reason to ignore Terminator 3.
Well, except for the fact that they have Linda Hamilton, and Linda Hamilton died of cancer in that one.
They didn't have to bring Linda Hamilton back.
Oh yeah, well that's true, but I mean that's the whole hook,
or
right?
They could have found a novel way to bring her back. Look, you're dealing with a franchise that's all about alternate timelines.
Yeah.
There's a million different ways you could have brought back Linda Hamilton and still kept the continuity of Terminator 3.
Yeah, I mean, but that's
different ways of doing it.
You're absolutely right, but that's like
just lazy, man.
Well, the whole thing is lazy because the whole reason I was about to say, well, that's the hook. They brought in Linda Hamilton, but that right in there shows how lazy it is because not having a good story or a new take on the idea for Terminator is one of the coolest film ideas of the last 50 years. I mean, this especially when it came out in the 80s when we weren't actually already taken over by technology. You know, you have these robots that take over the world and we're fighting against them, and it's the apocalypse and all that.
Yeah.
But when you can't get a new twist on that story to make a hook, and you have to go back and get the 65-year-old woman that was one of the first female action stars that really kicked butt in the early 90s and bring her back, and that's your hook. That just right there shows you how lazy it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them bringing her back. I just think they could find a better way of doing it.
I kind of mind them bringing her back in such an action role. You know, not that age is different these days. I like if you look at a 60-year-old woman now, it doesn't look like my grandma looked like she was about 157 when she was about 55. Like people age differently now. There's no question about that.
Absolutely.
They could do a lot more at a lot later in life. But, if she wants to be the trainer or whatever, which I'm thinking she is, but they put her forefront in most of this stuff. And it's just, I don't know. I just get a bad feeling about it. But even worse, I don't get any feeling about it.
I just feel like for these, especially for sci-fi, they have a very niche audience. Yeah. And I think we overestimate how big that audience is because something has become a cult classic.
Right.
So I look at, which it's the same thing we've seen a lot recently with Alien and with Blade Runner. These two niche, classic, iconic sci-fi franchises that keep trying to revive themselves, and their audience is shit because, like we'll go see it, but like your average person, your like casual viewer is like, what do I care?
Yeah.
And the same thing is going to happen to Dune when Dune comes out next
year.
Oh
yeah,
Dune. First of all, I don't like Dune, but Dune's audience is even more niche. Yeah, and I think that's going to be another big expensive dud for Denis Villeneuve.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like we know what's going to happen with this. We had a perfect example. What was it, 10, 11, 12 years ago? I guess it was 10 years ago, with Snakes on a Plane. That should have...
What in the world?
That should have solidified the internet's voice does not equal to the world's voice right then and there. Here's a movie that came out. If anybody was remembering what was going on when the movie Snakes on a Plane came out, it had this tremendous, like Star Wars level buzz about it. And then it came out and it made about $64. And then everybody's like, well, I don't understand. And that's when it became really clear that just because something's super popular on the internet and people talk about it and they say how much they love it, does not mean A, that they're going to go see the movie actually, and B, that the number of people doing that is as big as you want. That happens with everything you see on the news, everything everywhere else. Every time, you remember when those clowns were running around and it seemed like clowns were invading the country?
Yeah.
So there was like 4 clowns. That's like, the chance of seeing a clown was like 0.0000004%. But it seemed like you'd go outside and get attacked by a clown. And that's the same thing that happens here. Like, the people that are clamoring for these movies, the people that are going to the Comic-Cons are the ones you're hearing from on the internet.
Yeah.
Everybody else is the silent majority on it.
Yeah.
And they don't care.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to get wrapped up in the kind of the mythology of these movies. Mm-hmm. You know, and you look at them and you think, oh, it's Alien. Alien was great 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's a classic. People will turn out for it. I mean, okay, 30 years ago, probably half those people that saw are dead.
Right.
But
well, and people,
but then people like us who are, you know, who like those movies, you know, we'll go see it. But like I said, you know, your average person who may not have grown up with Alien or isn't a fan of that genre isn't going to go see it, and it's that audience is continues to dwindle. The thing you need to do is create new stuff.
Yeah.
That people nowadays will want to go and claim as their own. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, it's the snake eating its tail, because
you can't just be like, oh, let's put out a new Alien movie and then expect people to go turn out for it.
When you don't create anything new, what are we going to remake 30 years from now? The same stuff. I mean, that's the way it is. They
will still be trying to revive Alien.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It just happened with Predator also. Mm-hmm. I mean, and nobody loves their first Predator movie more than I do.
Oh, my God.
But it's just, I mean, that movie was never going to be a hit.
No.
If you're going to make those movies, you have to make them at cost. You have to make them at a very low price.
You have to make it at cost, and you have to take what Predator 2 started, expand on it, and still add Gary Busey in. You take the urban jungle, if you will. You take the urban
Busey, so be happy.
Yeah, there you go. The urban layout. You do the same thing they did in the first Predator movie. You don't see the Predator until 3/4 of the way through the movie.
When they inevitably make another Tron movie, it won't do anything.
No, I'd be surprised if they actually did make another Tron movie.
The last one did okay.
Did it really?
Yeah, it actually did okay.
Oh.
But
Olivia Wilde is the only thing I remember about that movie. She rocked a black lycra suit. She was
definitely the best looking part of that movie.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. God, Gary Evans was born in that film.
Yeah, that guy always seems like he's just taken 3 Xanax and he's trying to make his way through the day. Yeah. But you take the Predator, you put him in the urban landscape, and you make it like a horror movie because getting lost in the jungle they
did that already.
I know, but you actually go full bore on it, because they turned it into a cop drama, and they turned it into a space drama where they're going on spaceships.
Predators took place on their planet, right?
Yeah, Predators was on their planet. Okay. Predator was in the jungle. Predator 2 was in LA.
It's time to rewatch that.
Yeah, that movie was fun. That movie was good.
It was fun.
But just imagine, like, getting through the jungle. It's like you can see more of what's around you in the jungle, right? You can see the trees. You can hear things rustling. But going through an apartment building with something like that chasing you, not knowing what room he's in, and just like using like a wreck type situation. REC. You remember that movie? And doing something like, not found footage, but something like that.
Oh no, don't do that.
And where the Predator's going through, almost make the Predator like a Jason or a Michael Myers, and then throw a little more action on the top, sprinkle some vulgarity, and you're good to go. But they keep wanting to do something else with it entirely. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
so.
Oh well, it is what it is. But
yeah.
It's time for them to start creating new sci-fi franchises.
It's gonna have to happen at some point. But it's gonna
keep alive these old ones that just aren't doing anything. So.
I think we're really coming to a crossroads with Disney owning 31% of the film business now.
Is that it?
I think it's 31 or 37 between the two. I just saw the figure the other day. It seems like
I thought
more.
It was 60%.
It seems like more, because they've got Marvel, Star Wars, Disney. I mean, don't forget about Disney.
Pixar.
And then Pixar and
Fox.
Basically, they've got about 100% of the high budget things. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
People forget what came with Fox. Like
The Simpsons.
All 30 seasons of The Simpsons are going to be on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got Avatar, they got Predator, like we just mentioned, they got Alien, like we just mentioned. They got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, just think about think about your movie going experience up to here. In any movie, how many times can you remember hearing that? That's a Fox film.
I'm actually sad that I mean I don't want to get into the whole thing, because this has been two plus years of waiting for that deal to go through.
Yeah,
and I've already gone over my emotions on how it sucks that Fox is no longer really going to exist as an entity. I mean, yeah, they say that it's still going to be off on its own, sort of. And
right, but it won't really.
But really, it's still a Disney. It's under Disney now. To me, that's just sad to have that happen. So, I don't want to see it, but I don't want to see it. But it seems like at some point Disney's just going to own everything.
I'm just surprised because the one thing that's keeping us. The one thing that's keeping us from a complete and total remake or complete and total lack of original content is the streaming services, which are getting a lot of great shows, are popping up on Netflix and Hulu and Prime.
Disney has Hulu.
Oh shit, that's right. Okay, Netflix and Prime.
Disney has Hulu.
But there's a lot of like new original TV programming. It seems like all the original stuff isn't being done in movies; it's being done long form on TV, which is fine.
Let's make it clear. Disney could turn around and buy Netflix tomorrow if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could buy the whole thing if the government would let them. And honestly, they could buy the government.
Under this presidency, they might. But I'm not going to turn this into politics anyway. Red
alert! But yeah, I mean, the thing is, at some point we got to get to. We're either going to lose film altogether outside of superhero movies and remakes and stuff like that, or we're going to get a couple of people coming up that can shoot it with their phone, or have rich parents that buy them a red camera, and they start making independent movies again like the early 90s.
The next thing they're going to do is they're going to make every show have a subscription.
Oh, eventually, yeah.
That's at that point everybody will be priced out.
Which the irony of cable dying because it's cheaper to subscribe to what you want. And then eventually 10 years later, your subscription's costing as much as your mortgage is hilarious. And if you don't think that can happen, just remember that most of you pay a $250 phone bill, and 15 years ago that was unheard of.
Yeah, I'm always surprised by the number of subscription services I have until I look at my bill and it's like $10 here, $10 here, $10 here.
Yeah.
Like, damn, where my money goes? Like $10 here, $5 here, and you're like, oh, that's.
Did your dad ever tell you when you were a kid? It's the little things that add up. Subscription services, if you have not learned that, will point that out full force to you.
I mean, think about it. You're like, oh, it's only $10. It's not that big of a deal, but it comes out every a couple times a month.
Yeah.
For all these different services.
And I have subscriptions inside of subscriptions. I have Amazon Prime, and then I have the History Channel inside of that, and Stars inside of that.
Yeah. The brilliant thing Disney did was price Disney Plus at $6.99. That's ridiculously low.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is
for the amount of stuff that they offer you. But
here's the thing, though: if everybody can get it, then everybody's gonna get it. Right now, Netflix, like I'd say, 6 out of 10 people. It's probably 4 out of 10 people have Netflix, but 8 out of 10 people watch Netflix because account sharing.
Of course.
But at $6.99, it's the cheapest streaming service out there. Now, make no mistake, that's the base price. There's going to be levels.
Make no mistake that within 5 years they will raise it to $7.99.
Yeah, once everybody's gotten used to it, and that $1 raise, while it doesn't seem like a lot to you, when you have 20 million subscribers, that's $20 million more a year. Yeah. But the thing is, you can at $6.99. You can get double the amount of subscribers as the next guy because more people can afford it, and then you have. Essentially you're making more than everybody else. And with streaming, you're not, other than the bandwidth and the storage that you're not really paying for, it's not like you have to send out twice as many discs or do anything other than provide the content to stream to them. That's it.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything's going to be subscription at this point.
Yeah.
Any last words before we get out of here, man?
No, just a reminder for everybody to go and do you go to the hashtag, was it at the Hashtag Studios Facebook page? I am horribly prepared for our event.
Yeah, I think you can find it on the hashtag arena.
Hashtag arena Facebook page. Look for the events there. You'll be able to see our Avengers event on 4/20 coming up here all day long. We're gonna have a ton of fun. Cosplays encouraged. It's gonna be your own little slice of Comic-Con right here in Chantilly. So come on out and check it out with us.
Yeah, that's it. See you next week.
Yeah, and just real quick, thanks to everybody that subscribed to the channel since last time on our first show, and we appreciate every one of you. Keep subscribing, and we'll keep bringing it to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Later.